in response.
Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. M19 is upon us.
Yes.
It feels like every 2 weeks there's a new set out nowadays, but...
That's because that's accurate.
Yeah, very possible. It looks awesome. We're going to talk about the Mythics, try and help with the pre-release this weekend, tell you what it's going to be good for format-wise, and how much the price may or may not go up or down. You see how ambiguous I left that?
Oh, this is great.
It may or may not go up and or down.
You know, we may talk about some other cards, but it's just going to be a Mythic review today.
Yes, absolutely. So, without any further ado, let's nickel bolus our way right into this.
Oh, that makes sense. I like it because Nicol Bolas is a character in Magic.
Yeah, but past that, it made no sense.
Maybe he's very intrusive.
Yeah. Intrusive nickel bolus our way into this.
I will say this, Annie, my girlfriend, had to cook a pie for her work.
Interesting.
And so a weird thing happened. She needed bourbon for it.
Uh-huh.
And so now there's just some bourbon at the house. And we never ever have bourbon at the house. And so I had like a little shot when I got done with my day.
Bourbon is really good.
And it felt good. I had a little shot of bourbon. I just sat down, played some video games.
You felt like you needed to tell us.
Yeah, I don't think I needed to, but it's like a
weird
weird change.
Forthcoming about your bourbon intake.
It's just it was a weird change to have it just kind of like laying around where I'm like, oh, I could just go get a little shot of bourbon going. I don't know. It was weird. Normally I drink beer. Look, this isn't Magic related, okay? Let's just we'll just cut all of that.
So, M19 core set Mythics, let's get right into them. We're going alphabetically, and that means that first up is Ajani, Adversary of Tyrants.
I think this card is okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's 2 white, 2 other.
Really hot takes over here. I think it's okay. I think it's fine. I don't think that it's going to find a home in Standard. I think that
it requires having dudes already.
Right.
Where like when I look back to a recent 2 white, 2 other walker, I think of Gideon, Ally of Zendikar,
right,
which was able to come out, immediately create a dude to protect it.
Yeah, this is just, it's pretty cut and dry that it's not, the power level is not there for Standard, the power level is definitely not there for Commander.
Yeah, it's just okay.
Right. Currently, Ajani Adversary is sitting at 1210. I think that this is probably the most expensive he's going to be, at least in my opinion. I think he probably settles at around 8. What would you say?
I would think lower.
Yeah,
unless it randomly
5, 6.
goes into like people that like Ajani and like Planeswalker decks.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They'll put it in like a commander deck.
And if a white weenie deck breaks out, this could be really good.
Yeah. A deck that's like aggro and attrition and like you're losing dudes, and so you can return them.
Right.
Not bad.
Next up, alphabetically, Apex of Power, a 10 mana sorcery. Where do you think this finds a home? I think maybe like a janky modern deck that like cheats it out, maybe, or like a ramp commander deck that wants some big splashy stuff to play on the back
modern
end.
Something like Geosurge and just like a bunch of...
I really don't know.
I think it's an EDH card. I think it finds its way into like a red-green EDH card, and then you just do like some big splashy move with it. But
maximum, it's going to get up to like $3, $4. It's sitting at $1.80 right now.
I can't imagine it goes much higher.
No, I think this will be $1 Mythic for sure.
Yep. Next, alphabetically, Arcades the Strategist.
Mm.
Oh, this is a card I'm super stoked about, and I'm probably not the only person super stoked about it.
No, this one has caused the price of some cards with Defender that were previously sent.
Yeah.
Cards now are, up in the $10 range because nobody has them and everybody's frantically searching their bulk for them.
Yeah, everyone is just like, oh my god, it's finally a commander that's an assault formation, and it's a dude.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, this is a card that's really interesting, and you can tell when people are jazzed about it because this card is like $8 right now.
Yeah.
And the foil pre-sale is like the lowest you can find it for is like $40.
Right. People want it as a commander. I think. I doubt that there's enough support for it to be Brawl, but it's definitely going to be a commander staple for banned commanders.
Yeah.
Previous to this, it was like Dora on the Siege Tower was the only deck like this. And so having a second option for those players is a great thing. $8.60, I think it goes up.
If it finds a home in Standard, like if there's some cool Defender stuff that comes out, I think people will love to play this.
Right.
It's just like this cool, like, just... It breaks the mold of, like, the standard, like...
Oh, yeah.
This guy makes Wall of Omens, a 4/4 beater that comes in and draws 2 cards.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm a big fan. Cool Elder Dragon.
It's so sick, man.
Oh, yeah.
Moving right along to a limited-only card, in my opinion, Bone Dragon.
Bone Dragon is a card that I would probably like to see in limited. At the very least, it's 5 power on a flyer for 5, so...
Yeah.
Fine.
It's not bad. No. And then when it dies, you get to get rid of all that jank that you had just, like, building up in your graveyard, and you get it again.
Yeah, it can come back, but, I mean, limited only.
Yeah.
Limited only. Maybe,
you don't want this for EDH.
Well, it's just EDH Dredge, maybe, but there's so many other better options that I think this one gets edged out for candidacy in that deck.
Well, also, Dredge, you don't want to exile stuff from your graveyard.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have some stuff like some commander staples that would be like in there anyway. That's what I'm saying. You can barely make a case for that.
Yeah.
So at $2.56, I definitely don't think this one's going up in price. We will only see this one go down.
Its roar is the clatter of 1,000 bones.
What? Next up, Chromium the Mutable, another legendary dragon, and this one's pretty sweet. Lore-wise, flavor-wise, the abilities are really tight, because it can turn into a human, which is another form that they have.
Yes.
Other than that, it's a great Esper finisher. Standard, I don't know. There are a lot of good white, blue, and black cards running around nowadays that are proving themselves, and... in a control mirror, this one gets through because it's not going to be countered.
I think if it were out right now, I would be playing it in my Esper control on Magic Arena.
Yeah.
I would just be like, it's a great 7-cost finisher. It can't be countered. Oh, yeah, a 1-of.
It's not going to be any more than a 1-of. Yeah. So you play it in like a removal counter board wipe deck, and then it finishes the game for you. Because it essentially never dies, so it's a flying 7/7 that is eternal.
Yeah. It's a great card.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I think it's one of these cards where the foil is going to be a lot more expensive than...
Yes, the foil is going to be choice.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is just going to be him.
And you can see in the art, it's like this
smooth,
colorful, it's neat.
Living metal kind of thing. Chromium, definitely thumbs up. And at $9.51, what do you think?
It about stays the same.
Yeah, I think it'll stay around 10, maybe get up to 12, negligible if it rises.
Yeah.
Honestly, negligible if it falls, because a commander like this will kind of retain value forever. The foil is going to be off the chain as far as price goes.
Oh, yeah.
Not to use a phrase that cool people use all the time.
A lot of people say off the chain.
Off the chain.
Off the chain, man.
Crucible of Worlds is gonna stay expensive.
It's a card. It's a card that needed a reprint.
Absolutely.
You'll have a lot of EDH players and a lot of modern players that are very happy about this.
Oh yeah.
And now you get to get a relatively cheap foil Crucible of Worlds for all of the people that are like, I not only want it, but I need it to be foil.
Yeah.
Here's your chance.
Yeah, absolutely. The price will have an initial dip and then it'll rise right back up.
Yeah, once no one else wants to crack open Core 19.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Which I don't think there are going to be a ton of opening of this.
No,
it'll be fun to play limited.
Yeah, and there's no masterpieces, there's no expeditions in this set.
I mean, your chases are like, there's 2 of them, I think, and this is one of them.
So for EDH players, these people are going to acquire, the foils and the singles that they want.
Right.
And then your standard players, once they open what they need for their decks, you'll have a big decline in this set being opened. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff in it, but there's no lasting what's the lottery card that I'm just opening and opening and opening.
So Crucible of Worlds is going to be relevant forever And this price, buy them as cheap as you can because they're not going to suddenly dip in price out of nowhere.
Yep. All right, next up is Liliana, Untouched by Death. I think this is a cool card if it finds its way into a good zombie shell, and it
would have been brutal back around when zombies was relevant.
Very relevant, yeah. I think it's like a cute EDH card.
Yeah.
For anyone who runs like a zombie theme.
Sure.
But I will say this, at 4 loyalty and 4 casting costs, the ultimate is notable. The -3, you can cast zombie cards from your yard this turn.
Right.
So say it's like you're like late game, you top deck this, and then you just, ultimate immediately.
Biggest thing for me is that Amonkhet is going to rotate, and the zombie presence was not as wide on Ixalan. And
that's true.
Looking forward to Ravnica, there's some zombie, like sub theme, but there's no we're the zombie group of people.
Right.
And so, because it's so diverse on Ravnica. So I think, and I could be proven wrong, that the zombie support is not going to be enough for this to be a playable standard card, essentially.
Yeah. A lot of the times when a walker, and we're going to get to one that is like a 3 cost, it has a lot more, we have Liliana of the Veil, obviously, Liliana of the Last Hope, which became a big card, Gideon of the Trials, Jace, Cunning Castaway, which didn't really do much.
No, never took off.
But a lot of the time when the walker is 3, people really look at it for standard.
Absolutely.
And I just think this Liliana is just kind of leaving something to be desired.
Right. At $9.21, it's a walker, so it might not get too much cheaper.
Yeah, the foil.
But I don't think it's going to grow.
The foil will be desirable for everyone who's like, oh my god, Liliana.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
That's about it.
This guy, and if you're sitting there going, what are they talking about? What are Jake and Jill talking about?
Nicol Bolas the Ravager. 4 cost, 4/4, Teenage Nicol Bolas that flips into maybe the best Planeswalker I've ever seen.
Yeah, this card is pretty freaking sick.
I mean, the ability just to sit there and if you can flip him, just draw 2 cards in the 3 colors. I was just telling Jake this. It should pretty much close out the game, and his ultimate is I win. And he can remove any 10 toughness or less creature or 10 loyalty. I mean, I'm just
whenever
going over
he
his
enters
moves
the
right now.
battlefield.
Yeah, discard the card.
So in addition to getting a 4/4 flyer for 4,
right,
you just get a mandatory discard attached to him.
Right.
Which I do believe there is a discard theme that's currently in standard.
Yeah. And then for 7 mana, at instant speed,
you can flip him.
You can flip him. So you just stay open every turn to counter or remove their stuff. Excuse me.
Yeah, right.
And then when you don't need the mana, you just dump it, turn him over, and you probably win the game.
You need to just start winning the game.
Right.
Yeah. I think this card definitely being in a Grixis shell. Grixis is known for control.
Talking about cards that would immediately go into arena decks, this guy. Immediately into my Grixis control deck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you build a control shell around it... No, normally I like for my finisher to have evasion.
Sure. Yeah, he does have to survive.
He has to survive.
11 mana.
But if you play the control deck right, this is an absolute win condition.
Absolutely it is.
You pair it alongside something else, you're probably going to get there. So let's talk about the price on Nicol Bolas. $35.47.
I don't think this... I mean, I think this is a hype price. However, I don't think it's going to get much lower than this. Because
this is a card that people are going to brew with.
So many formats that this plays.
Yeah.
Maybe not modern. Because it's a little slow. And the control matchup there doesn't really fare as well as a lot of other matchups.
Yeah,
but
maybe, yeah.
Standard, I think people are going to brew the hell out of it.
Yes.
Commander, absolutely going in. And think about this. It's the only legitimate way in, what I'll say for lack of a better term, real Commander, to have a Planeswalker as your general.
Yeah.
And so there you go. Outside the monocolored things that were printed for the Commander sets a couple years back.
True.
So people are going to want this card. This is a highly desirable card.
Yeah, I really like it. The foil's going to be insane. This is going to be, I'll tell you this.
Because it's a 2-sided foil.
if you pull the foil of this, I would be hard pressed to expect to find it for anything less than like $90.
Yeah.
And if you find it for like 80 or 90, I would probably scoop it up. If it's something that you think you're going to want, because it's going to be one of those things where once this set goes bye-bye, this obviously is the chase card, and it will go up.
And I mean, as far as reprints, why would you reprint it? I mean, maybe in like a master set.
It would be like an FTV flip or something like that.
Way
but
in
they
the
just
future.
did one. Yeah. Very cool card.
Oh yeah, Nicol Bolas the Ravager gets 10 pizza pies.
10 pizza
10 pizza pies.
10 pizza pies out of 10 pizza pies. You heard it from Joel here on Jake and Joel Are Magic.
This card is definitely off the chain.
Yes, as far as the chain is concerned, this card is so far from the chain.
It is off it.
It is off it.
Running around in the yard.
This one's easy peasy.
Number 9, Omniscience.
This is it's an EDH card.
It's an EDH bomb.
It's an absolute amazing card in EDH.
Yep.
And it's the kind of thing that maybe finds itself as a one-of in a control deck.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I can't see it.
I doubt it. It's got sweet Bolas art on it.
Yes.
It is an EDH bomb. It's gonna remain around. It's $8.69 right now. TCG
the foil
market.
of this is insane normally.
Yeah, but
now would be the time to get the foil. If you're the person who's like, I want an Omniscience of foil.
Yeah.
Wait until, a couple weeks. We always say this on Jake and Joel.
Yep.
But wait a couple weeks to a month after the set comes out. You're going to buy it at the lowest you're ever going to find it. And then after that, good luck.
Put it in a sleeve, put it in a folder, and wait on it.
Yep.
It'll go back up. It'll go like this.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the call.
Unless for some reason they decide, hey, it needs to be in Core 19 and then in the next two Masters sets.
Masters 20, yeah.
Yeah, and then it'll dip, but I can't imagine that's going to happen. Yeah.
By the way, I know I misspoke. It's not sweet Bolas art. It's sweet Bellerin art. I get it. I don't need the comments. Thank you.
But if you want to leave the comments, please
tell
feel
me
free
I
to
was
leave
wrong.
a comment.
Tell me I was definitely on the chain.
We always like comments. And if you want to like and subscribe.
Next up, Palladium the Ruiner. Nicol Bolas' sister, little fun fact. It's cool. It's a limited bomb. So this is your limited finisher if you get it.
Flying Vigi Trample.
Yeah. Has hexproof if it hasn't dealt damage. So it's going to deal damage at least once. In Commander, maybe I wouldn't pick it to lead my deck because it's just kind of a attack 6-cost creature finisher, which as we know is not that strong.
Dude, it's so linear.
Right.
It's so just like, hey, keywords.
Right. Brawl deck, I think it could find a home there, but that's not going to make the, it's not going to move the needle on the cost at all.
Yeah, it would be in a Brawl deck.
Yeah, I mean, or if you are going to build a really quick Naya, do a lot of damage as quickly as possible deck, I could see this being the finisher. But the point is, it's at $3.
Like knowing you're going to have...
Right, you just curve right into
You just know you're going to have a
Wars.
6/6 every time.
Right, exactly.
Ramp into it.
Mm-hmm. Ramp
have
into
a little
it as quickly as
hexproof
possible,
dude.
or curve into it and just perfect.
Be able to have a beater.
Still, $3, it's not going to go down from that, I don't think, because it does have some story relevance, which we know can keep the price of a card up. But
you know what?
I don't think it's going to, go up to $10. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8.
Dude, now that I'm looking at the card, and I'll just say, like, Varric's Bladewing.
Yeah.
I love this card in maybe this. I really do kind of like it now that we've talked about it as a Brawl commander that you just ramp into it.
Oh, okay.
And then
Jake
you
is on this
have
Varric's Bladewing thing that he's going to be really good someday.
I just love Varric's because you get 2 dudes for 7.
Yeah.
2 big beefy flyers for 7. But I definitely think in the Brawl deck, Varric's would be in this Brawl deck.
Yeah, absolutely. So, price, I wouldn't expect it to do too much, but it's a cool card. Okay, so next up, Resplendent Angel.
Oh, man.
Look, you're at the top of white decks for the next year and a half, however long it is till rotation.
Insane.
You're going to have to deal with Resplendent Angel, and you're going to have to deal with that frickin' angel from Dominaria. What's the name of it?
Let's just go through the whole darn thing here.
Okay, we don't have to spend too much time on it.
No, but limited, insane. swings the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, it's good. It's good across all formats. Plus, it's a 3/3 flyer for 3 for a white deck.
Yeah.
I mean, you're creating tokens if you can build a life gain thing around it. Look, I'm telling you, you're going to see this and the angel.
You don't even need...
What is the angel from down there?
You know what I think? Lyra Dawnbringer.
Yes.
Hey, you know what's crazy? What's crazy about this card is attached to it. Normally when you get this conditional, hey, if you gain life this turn, you get a 4/4 angel in
It can do it itself.
It does it itself.
Well, it's like the gods from Amonkhet. They helped trigger their abilities.
Yeah.
Through their other activated abilities.
But there's so many cards like this that are a trap. Where it's like, yeah, we're going to be making 4/4 angels. It's like, yeah, you're going to want to be making 4/4 angels. With this, you just dump 6 mana into it.
Guys, it's
gain
not
life.
legendary, so it's a 4 of. You're playing a mono white deck.
Busted.
Maybe this makes a Johnny Adversary of Tyrants playable. I don't know. But the bottom line is, it's $18 right now. It's going to go up.
I think it goes up.
This card is going up. It's a $25 card. Everybody's going to need a 4 set of them if you're playing, if this kind of deck plays. But this deck this card looks absolutely busted.
Yeah. It's just, you put it at the top of a control shell, and then it just, like, it stabilizes you. As soon as it swings once and you're able to do that, you get value, you make the 4/4. Like, dude, it's nuts.
Next up is Sark and Fireblood. Three cost, Planeswalkers, so you know people are going to get tickled in their pickle for it.
Yeah.
People are going to think that it is off the chain. I'm not super high on this card. Jake is.
No, I wouldn't say I'm super. Like we have definitely started heating up the water on the oven for it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I mean, basically, for 3 mana, you're going to get, unless you build hard dragons, so it becomes possible, or it becomes necessary, rather, that there be a good curve of dragons, I guess, or dragons 4, 5, or 6 that you want to play. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a build around, or past that, all you have is a filtered card, a repeatable filter.
Yeah.
But you don't get to draw the card first. You have to discard the card first, which I think is a disadvantage to a filter effect.
Yeah, for sure. Unless you know, like, the card is completely dead. But
you'd rather draw the card first and then potentially be like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's got a pretty good ultimate. It's 4 dragons, 20 power? Yeah, 20 power across 4 creatures all in the air. That's nice.
And both abilities are pluses.
They're both pluses, right, absolutely. The add mana is a plus. I mean, I'll tell you, it's a 3-cost walker. People are going to build around it. You have to curve at least red, and then one other to, get it out.
Does it make its way into the Grixis shell with Nicol Bolas?
Yeah, but see, you're splitting. You need good dual lands for that.
I mean, Nicol Bolas is only 4, though.
Right, but you want red in the first 3 land drops to be able to play this, because you want to play this on turn 3 so that you can the next turn drop another for 4. And then use his ability, pay 4 mana, and cast a 6-cost dragon. That's the best use of this that I can possibly see. Because then it'll protect him to get to his ultimate. I don't know. I see the potential. You just gotta really have the right cards to be able to build this deck.
It's mana in any combination, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you get the double red, and then he's pretty much fixing if you're running dragon.
Definitely doing that, but you need at least... Yeah, I don't know. It is completely dependent on the dragons available.
Yeah. Fair exploit.
Sarkin is $12. I think he will remain around that high until the group of players at large are able to figure out yes playable or not playable. I think that it's going to probably stay around the same price. I don't think this will go too far down because it is Commander relevant. You can play it in Commander. It's not like, Tybalt or anything. So people are going to want it.
Yeah. You put Dragon on it and people perk up a little bit.
Absolutely.
But Sarkans in the past have typically not been great.
Right.
So hopefully this Sarkhan is off the path and riding the road less traveled.
Yeah. Beautiful poetry.
No problem.
Next up, another reprint that people were crying out for, Scapeshift.
Yes.
Coming in at $15 market right now.
That seems right.
I think it seems right. I think it'll probably, again, start creeping back up. But this seems like a card that at the Mythic slot is going to be a more common Mythic. I don't know why. I just feel like we're going to see it. I don't think that...
They want copies into the hands of the modern players.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know that it's going to find a home in Standard. It really doesn't have a relevant archetype around it right now. Maybe Deserts, but that's about to rotate. It'll really depend on what's coming out in Ravnica, because Ixalan doesn't have a ton of stuff. But, there is the Merfolk that you put cards into your graveyard when it attacks, World Shaper, I believe, and you can play. Yeah, so it's possible that there's
Field
something
of
in the
Ruin,
works,
which is a cool card that this plays with.
Yeah, I think that it's possibly hinting at an archetype that is maybe weaving its way into Standard.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, but right now there's nothing that supports that. It's just kind of a feeling and looking at certain cards. So at $15, I think it does slowly creep back up because it's a desired reprint.
Everyone said, "Oh no, they're not going to put Mishra's Bauble into Iconic Masters. It's not iconic." Mm-hmm. And so Wizards is known for doing whatever they gosh darn please.
Right.
And so if they want to just print Scapeshift for the fact that everyone's been crying about Scapeshift for a long time, they very well may just do that.
Yeah.
Just because it's a chase card.
Right. Tezzeret, Busted, Artifice Master.
Yeah, this card is sick.
It's currently at $23. I think it's going to go up. I think maybe the hype is hard on it right now, but it's just a really good card.
Yeah, whenever a Planeswalker comes in and protects itself,
right,
like that for me, and this is a relevant 1/1 flying Thopter.
That then eventually triggers its middle ability, which if it's a triggered middle ability, you're already drawing a card for 0.
Yeah.
But if it's a triggered middle ability, you're drawing 2 cards.
Yeah.
So it's a repeatable 2-card draw for 5 mana, and that's imagining that you've got it protected, and if you don't have it protected yet, it comes in and protects itself.
I'm telling you, I think this card is going to create a whole artifact strategy.
Yeah.
And there are cards that are definitely on my radar that I think will play with it. Mm-hmm. I think it could work in a mono blue control.
Yeah.
Alongside that new wand that destroys creatures, and you get 3 charges on it. You destroy 3 creatures at sorcery speed.
He's real hyped on this thing.
This card, I think this card is good.
It Ghost or sheep. What does it turn
into? 2/4
ox or something.
Whatever for your opponent. Whatever. But then you run River's Rebuke, so you can bounce all those tokens, so you don't get them back.
Yeah.
And then you run Antiquities War, and then once your wand is done being used, and these Thopters, they just get in for 5.
He's just trying to get this on the record so that if somebody plays
it's just March of the Machines.
He can say, "I called it."
I think it's there. I think they're setting it up, and I think you find the right cool blue control shell. I mean, is it going to beat this angel thing that's pretty much just been writ into existence?
Right.
It's just going to run with History of Benalia and angels, and everyone's going to be flying and gaining life, and you get 4/4 angels.
Regardless of that, Tezzeret Artifice Master is awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's going to see play.
Definitely EDH. Yeah. If you can find the foil for I would say 60 or less.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, swoop it up quick.
Yeah. Because again, it's got an ultimate that just says I win.
And it's
especially
blue.
in EDH.
It's just blue.
Right.
It's not this 2-color thing where we're just it has to be blue-black Tezzeret.
The price is going to go up. The price is going to go up, and at the very least, it's not going to go down.
Yeah. Next card. Vivictus, another dragon.
Another elder dragon.
Joel, do you have any lore behind this dragon?
I do not know the lore behind this dragon, actually.
Okay. Well, it's just a card then. It's just a card to us here at Jake and Joel are Magic. I think this dragon is cool.
It's a $3 card right now. Dude. I think people are really low on it, and so now it's a good time to pick it up. It's a Chaos Warp. We were talking earlier. It's a Chaos Warp on a stick. And so I think people see that it gives you a random permanent, and they're like, ugh. But they're not really thinking that Chaos Warp is an awesome card and is in a ton of decks with red, commander decks, I should say.
Yeah.
And so I think that this is a relevant card. I think this is going to give you access to a repeatable Chaos Warp in Brawl until, M19 rotates.
Now, I could see people with scry effects in EDH not liking this card just specifically because with Chaos Warp, it shuffles in, and then you shuffle your deck, and then you reveal the top.
Right.
With this, you could play it, and in response, you have Sensei's Divining top go off.
Right.
You have Crystal Ball go off, whatever kind of scry effects.
For sure.
So, from that standpoint, I could see maybe it doesn't really do well in EDH.
Yeah.
But in Standard, I think this card, it gets no love.
Yeah, it's got a little more potential, I think, than the price is showing right now.
Oh, dude, if their counterspell goes off the top, it just fizzles.
Yeah, so I would say it's a good, if you're interested in this card, it's a good time to pick it up because the price is not going to go lower than $3 because, again, it's got character lore protection, kind of built in.
Yeah.
But it could very well go
Plot
up.
protection.
Yeah, it's got plot protection, essentially.
Like that one dragon from Game of Thrones.
Right. Last but not least, our new green planeswalker, Vivian Reed.
Yes, Vivian Reed.
She's not bad. It's a cool card. It's a cool character, that they're bringing into the whole lore of the game. Yeah, multiverse, I guess, is best.
Yeah. I think the alt is really good.
Yeah.
It's like something that you want to resolve. Yeah, it's great.
Right.
It's like an emblem that just has, hey, you have really good stuff, and all your crap is indestructible. Yeah. So enjoy that.
And she's got a built-in removal. Yeah. A little bit of removal with her minus ability.
I do like, from a limited standpoint, her removal is great. It's her middle ability is all of the cards that you don't want to put in your main deck.
Right.
It's like a Pistis Strike to kill air stuff. You get a Naturalize attached to it.
And that's, you always kind of wrestle with, do I want to play Naturalize, do I not?
And she lets you do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So from limited standpoint, very good.
Currently, she's at 866. I think this is a little early hype because new character, new Green Walker. It could potentially have some play in Standard, but it's really just kind of a, commune with dinosaurs.
I hate the converted.
Right.
I don't like the converted.
And the converted is at 5. Yeah, it doesn't curve very well. And right now, the green deck that's going around with like Land Wars in the front end, your 3 greens in the top end, and then Galta at the top, doesn't need this.
You don't need it
at all. And so it doesn't really have a home in that deck. I think it's a fun card. I think it'll be a fun EDH card. It's good in a go-wide strategy in EDH. 866.
Hey, high five for EDH.
Woo!
Thank God that exists because it gives homes to all these cards that would otherwise be living on the streets.
Wizards said, best idea ever.
Yeah, they were like, we need to implement this.
Right.
And then Tabernacle of Pendrevale became $1,300 card and then a $2,000 card when it was like
it's a planeswalker with a color that a lot of people dig. I think 866 is actually a little low for it. I think it'll probably come up a little bit once the set is not being purchased anymore. Settle out at 10. To me, it looks like an $8 to $10 walker.
But it's not the first appearance of Spider-Man. It's the first appearance of Vivian Reed.
Right.
It's like you really want to get that copy of the first appearance of that one character.
Oh, got it.
I don't know. But I don't follow the lore. Maybe this character is amazing and they do awesome things. We'll see in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, okay. That's going to do it for us this week. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. If you enjoy our content and like what we do, we'd love if you thought about subscribing to the channel. Otherwise, drop a like, drop a dislike. Let us know what you liked and did not. And we'll try and make a better video next time. I hope everybody enjoys their pre-release. Let us know how M19 does for you. We will probably, like we do, go play the Two-Headed Giant pre-release.
We will absolutely do it.
So there you go.
It's going to be a great time.
Follow us on Twitter and we'll let you know how that went.
And if it doesn't go well, we'll let you know as well.
Yeah, we are normally honest about our feelings. So I am tapped out. That's it for me.
And I am always on that journey for strength and growth.
And meaning.
And you should too.
Bye.